Control, this is Darkstar. How do you read?
Darkstar, control loud and clear.
Darkstar is Joe Kosinski. What he's created was, next level.
So Darkstar is conceived as a hypersonic aircraft, which means it's capable of going 10 times the speed of sound.
When you see Maverick in it, you look like you're in a science fiction movie. It's so cool.
One last ride.
I thought how incredible it would be to partner up with Skunk Works, a division of Lockheed, and design an aircraft for Maverick to be testing at the beginning of this movie. I started thinking about the idea of Maverick being a test pilot, doing top secret projects out in the desert. That was an idea that I had very early, and Tom loved it.
The contract threshold was Mach 10, not 10.1, Mach 10.
It was very important to us that Maverick still be in the Navy, and that the Navy is really the only thing he's ever known. The Navy is his family. At the same time, Maverick has been in the Navy for 30 years. It answered the question of how would someone stay in the Navy this long and remain where he is? Because what mattered most to Maverick is that he always finds a way to fly.
He still needed to be Maverick, but he's older. And what is that personal journey going to be? And what are the stakes? We are laying in these levels of storytelling and world and nostalgia, yet future.
It is a technical marvel. Took it out on the runway. Tom was really in the cockpit. One of the things that Tom and Joe really wanted to do with this movie is to really up the ante from the first film.
Well, I'm kind of an aviation buff. For a moment in college, I actually thought I was going to be an aerospace engineer. So I've always loved airplanes and aircraft design.
And cut, nice.
Cutting!
Tower, this is Darkstar. We are taxiing.
It was a real dream partnership for me to take my ideas of what Darkstar could be to Lockheed, to the Skunk Works division, which is their world-famous experimental division. I've met with them and explained to them that I wanted to design a experimental aircraft, and I wanted it to be, like the rest of this film, grounded and realistic.
Skunk Works is the advanced development projects for Lockheed Martin Aeronautics. We do a lot of the experimental and new projects within aeronautics.
Hey guys. Hey, how's it going? What's exciting to us is that the filmmakers elected to come and see us about designing for them an aircraft specifically for this script. And it was an exciting opportunity for us to actually design in the open for an outcome that would be seen by the public.
Skunk Works developed the SR-71. The SR-71, also called Blackbird, is still the most advanced and most outrageous aircraft ever designed. It flies about Mach 3. Now, what we designed here is our imagination of the successor of that plane. This aircraft is designed to reach speeds of Mach 10.
Well, Mach 10, let's give Mach 10.
Mach 10. Mach 10 is over 7,600 miles per hour, which means you could get from Los Angeles to New York in about 19 minutes. A lot of things can happen at this speed, and to many of us, the physics of that velocity is hard to understand.
Skunk Works has run our 3D models through proprietary software that tests heat signatures as it's moving through the air to get the aircraft to look like it's a believable platform to fly.
Stealth is to be invisible for the enemy, so you can achieve that with various tactics. Our stealth on a plane like this is speed, which means Mach 10 is currently a velocity that is impossible to intercept with another aircraft or with any other weapon systems.
For the main design, a lot of it came from Skunk Works, was really the engine design and the shape of the plane. It has an arc in it. It's just for its lift at high speeds, and it just has a massive amount of thrust. And the engines are so big just to get air traveling through it.
One interesting bit is visibility. If you make a film, you obviously want to see the actor a lot. However, you cannot have a conventional cockpit on a jet like that. There hasn't been a material yet that you can look through that can take that Mach 10 heat. So if you look closer at our jet, it only has windows on the side. You cannot look straight, which is extraordinarily unusual. But we needed to make sure that certain camera angles still worked for Joe and Tom. So the jet actually tapers extremely to the front, so we could angle the windows forward, which still works for the heat, but it gives us beautiful shots of Tom.
Okay, fuel temps are looking good.
Control concurs.
We tried to work with Skunk Works, coming up with what would this top secret material be, and the closest I could really get was it looks like a charcoal briquette that has been burning.
And then the last thing they came in was that it would have these tiger stripes, which it hits hypersonic. And it hits the shock waves as it travels over. It does this little bit of damage to it. And that's the repeated wear of what it looks like after it's flown so many times. And I think that was what really sold it, was that last touch, which made it look really mean.
The really cool thing is when X-planes like our Darkstar are being developed, Skunk Works will work hand in hand with the pilot that is trained to fly this aircraft. And a lot of times the instrumentation, the cockpit is designed to fit them as they request, because it's muscle reflexes that they already developed over their long career.
Tom was really specific about where he wanted the throttle, where he wanted the thruster, you know, like literally everything. It was amazing.
It was really good to have that input to make sure that he's happy and that our test pilots are happy.
Just a little push.
Pilots are extremely important in helping us make sure that we have a very effective human-machine interface to be able to operate where both are pushing the limits of what we're capable of doing.
Right now we're located at the Navy base in China Lake. They've graciously loaned us this almost top secret hangar.
China Lake is a secret test facility out in the desert where there are a lot of projects going on outside of the public view. And I was like, wow, that would be a great location for Darkstar. After a lot of back and forth, we ended up being able to shoot there, which is amazing because it's just a place that I know for sure you've never seen on film before.
We wanted that moment in the Darkstar flight. You just feel not only command of flight,
Come on!
but the beauty of flight.
He's the fastest man alive.